Hello and welcome to Operation Practice Success. In this three-part video series, you'll find tips about how to attract more patients on a more timely basis and make more of an impact in your community. My name is Dr. Vicki Rackner and I'll be your host. I'm a former practicing surgeon and clinical faculty at the University of Washington School of Medicine. I'm currently a full-time author, speaker, and consultant promoting more effective medical team leadership. Last December, I got a Christmas card I've been thinking about all year. It came from a medical school friend who described the recession's impact in her community. She said that patients who had been compliant for years just disappeared as they lost their health insurance. Her practice was turning into a ghost town, and she was meeting her monthly expenses with her savings. She was certain that when the economy turned around, her practice would recover. She wondered, though, whether she could afford to keep her doors open that long. I was shocked. This is an excellent physician practicing in a major metropolitan area treating affluent patients. Was this just an anomaly? I kept my eyes and ears open, and the truth came trickling out. Many practices are struggling. This video series is a prescription for financially ailing medical practices. I'm inviting you into a conversation about smart practice building, and the major focus is how to attract new patients. You'll find a new way of rising to the age-old challenge of getting the word out about the good work that you do. In this first video, you'll get information about the psychology of the referral, what motivates people to send you patients. In the next video, you'll get elements for the successful campaign to get the word out. And in the third video, you'll get information to customize your own campaign. Why might you want to spend some of your precious time listening to me? It's because I'm sharing the lessons I learned the hard way. I've walked this labyrinth. Very briefly, here's my story. I decided to become a doctor as I woke from my own life-saving operation at age 23. Not surprisingly, I became a surgeon, and I set up a private practice here in Seattle. In 2000, I launched a consulting practice to promote better collaboration between patients and family caregivers and healthcare professionals. I struggled through many painful years trying to find the delicate balance between self-promotion that's required for business success and conduct becoming of a physician. In the early years, my efforts to find clients left me feeling like a pest. Then I changed the way I talk and people started listening. I experienced a transformation. With humility and gratitude, I'll share that I have a national platform. I deliver keynotes at national meetings. I'm quoted in national publications, and I've been on radio shows across the country. I offer expert content for national organization. I'm not saying this to boast. I'm saying it because I personally moved from despair to hope. I've helped others do it, and you can too. It begins with a new way of thinking. Your skill at caring for your patients determines your clinical outcomes. Your skill at caring for the people who send you patients determine your practice outcomes, and this is where the focus will be. Let's begin with the psychology of the referral. How do you deliver the right message to the right person at the right time to influence referral patterns? When I finished residency, this was pretty easy. You picked up some donuts, brought them to the local doc's offices, and introduced yourself. Then you took good care of patients and hopefully enjoyed a lifetime of financial security. Then again, those were the days when keyboards were used by people we called secretaries, and beepers, the symbol of 24/7 access, were reserved for doctors and maybe drug dealers. We live in a new world. Now there's a cell phone with a keyboard in everyone's pocket and not much cash to keep it company these days. This persuasion by donut is not working very well in our new world. Persuading people to send you patients may feel a little like persuading your kids to eat their vegetables. You can use one of three strategies. A parent's first strategy is to place the vegetables in front of the child and say, look, how yummy. There's no fooling a child's taste buds. If they find it distasteful, your chances of success are small. If you're involved with end-of-life care or the management of chronic pain, I see your value and I honor you for your work. However, here's the bald truth. Most people wish that you and the conditions you treat would just go away. We have a human aversion to pain and death. Further, most physicians also have an aversion to problems they cannot solve and conditions they cannot control. They find the very condition of needing to send patients to you distasteful. Your second strategy as a parent is to say it's good for you. You can also use logic to persuade people to send you patients. You can remind them that through you they have access to resources like OR time or hyperbaric chambers. You can tell them that you use your resources more effectively, that you can treat patients with less time or less pain or less expense. You can tell people you get better outcomes. After all, practice makes perfect. And last, you can remind people that a referral may be required either by practice patterns or sometimes even by law. Washington State just passed unprecedented regulation that triggers a consult with a pain specialist if a patient requires over a certain dose of opioids. Here are some barriers to persuasion by logic. First, there's lots of noise out there, much more competition for a slice of the attention pie. Second, it's very difficult to distinguish yourself from others who are like you. And third, it's becoming increasingly challenging to persuade physicians, and history shows why. Around the inception of Medicare, physicians were completely autonomous. They made their own clinical choices and decide how much they would charge for their services. Insurance companies and the government just took out a checkbook and paid. Efforts to control spiraling costs took the form of managed care. I remember one surgeon sighing and saying, "Can you believe it? Some high school graduate is telling me how long I can keep my patient in the hospital." The pharmaceutical industry found a new way to persuade physicians who didn't want to be influenced. They said, "Let's let patients do it." And direct-to-consumer advertising worked. Then came the real game changer, Google. Historically, physicians were the gatekeepers through which patients gained access to medical information, diagnostic tests, and treatment regimens. How much the world has changed. If these two strategies don't work, what's the alternative? It's to take the distasteful thing away and instead bring on something that this person wants to eat. What do people really want? Oprah said that she's interviewed over 40,000 people, and in the end, everyone wants the same three things. They want to know, do you see me? Do you hear me? Does what I think matter to you? David Brooks recently released a book called The Social Animal. He set out trying to understand why it was that well-conceived public policies fail. This political question was answered in neurosciences. Functional MRI shows that we make most of our choices with our feeling brain and justify them with our thinking brain. In other words, emotion drives motion. We make New Year's resolutions with our thinking brain and break them with our feeling brain. Each of us is temperamentally driven towards one emotional state. We want to get results, we want to be part of a team, we want to be recognized, or we want to be right. When you meet somebody, think avatar. Say with your words and actions, "I see you." You don't have to just wish that more patients will come your way. You can get the phone ringing. This is Dr. Vicki Rackner thanking you for joining me today. Please go to www.operationpracticesuccess.com to sign up for the 2 remaining videos. Remember, you have everything it takes to attract more patients on a more timely basis and make more of an impact in your community.